what do you want people, when people know who you are, right? When people know who you are, like, what do you want people to actually like carry, like, remember you by, or like the impression you want to leave?
Oh, I guess competent storyteller above all. Yeah, I had some really doozy reviews where, it kind of makes you question yourself or question myself and kind of what I've been trying to do. But when I go back and read my stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's how I wanted it. That a lot of that was intentional. So, like I'll just paraphrase, but like one of the reviews was along the lines of, I read this book about Star Wars and there were Sith Lords in it, and that's so horrible. It's like, well, yeah, of course there's Sith Lords in a Star Wars book. What were you expecting? So, obviously, not my target audience. So I think I would like to connect with my target audience. I certainly don't expect my stuff to appeal to everyone. Like even some friends have told me, I hated this. This is terrible. I don't know why you made your protagonist that way. But I don't know. It is what it is. That's how it came to me. That's how I was satisfied putting it together. And I would rather be true to the story than trying to please everyone.
Well, you have no choice. That's the best. That's the best way to be. Like I find for me, as far as characters go, my only rule is I don't have to like my characters, but I have to respect them. I tried doing a noir story, and I found I could tell the story well, but about 2/3 into the story, I'm like, I really despise this character. Like, I don't even. This is beyond like dislike. This is like, I despise this character. Why do I despise this character? And then I realized, because if I met him in person, I wouldn't respect him. I just wouldn't. And this is just it was a flaw, but it taught me a very valuable lesson, right? My character, I have to respect the character. I don't have to like them. I think some of the best protagonists, like one of my favorite protagonists, is Thomas Covenant. Not a likable character at all, right? Not even close. Does terrible things, right? And it makes the story very uncomfortable, but still a hell of a story.
Have you read the Gap series?
Pardon?
The Gap series by the same author, Donaldson, right? You're talking
Yeah,
about?
Stephen Donaldson. Yeah.
Yeah, the Gap series, like despicable characters, and yet so compelling.
Yeah. Well, you understood, you understood, like, with Covenant, he loathed himself because he thought he was weak because he had this disease, and that's where that loathing came from. And you understood that idea, and he acted out in ways that were actually quite monstrous when you sit there and think about it, right? But um, but the thing about that was, it was still compelling. Lord Fowl was still an evil um, sob. So I mean, you definitely had a real bad guy at the very end there. But what made that story so compelling was, what made him, like, in spite of everything he did, he still loved this place he was trying to save, even though he didn't believe in it. It was such an interesting, yeah, it was very compelling. You know what I mean? So you can have unique, like, tough characters to like. Chris Mars, she actually makes some characters that are really hard to like too. She has a really good yarn about it though as well. So I mean, um, as long as you can make them compelling, it really doesn't matter. And your stuff's really smart. Like, you think it out very well. Like you're very much in your case. Uh, I've only read your fantasy book, because that's what I started reading before this got crazy, and I had to pack everything away. But what I remember about that book was, like, your characters were interesting, but you really think about the world, the rules. You really think about how this should work, right? You're very much a scientist, even in your stuff. So,
Are you talking about Wicked Initiations?
sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you referring to Wicked Initiations or
Yeah,
Blood
yeah,
Pieces? Okay. Yeah, that book I've always been happy with how that one turned out.
yeah.
That one came together right from the start. That's the prequel to the longevity thesis, but I actually wrote that book second.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So,
Book one was actually book two, but chronologically.
so it's book zero technically. Okay, okay.
Yeah.